Today is the big day. Equipped with a unique translation device, you're about to head off into the cosmos and uncover the history of an ancient civilization. But a strange series of events leads you at the center of an intergalactic mystery. The Outer Wilds is one of those games you only really get to play once. But is it right for you? And that's what I want to be exploring today. This is not my review. This is an overview of some of the factors you might want to consider if you're wanting to pick up this game. If you'd like to hear my personal insights into this experience, then hit subscribe and then you'll know when part B video drops. That'll be one for those who have finished the game or have at least played it a bit and want to get somebody else's reflections on it who don't mind spoilers. So, let's do this. Right, before we go any further, if I show you almost anything in this game, it's going to be a spoiler because this is a puzzle game. There's a big mystery that you need to solve, and part of that mystery is working out what it is that you're supposed to be doing anyway. So with that in mind, while I will be showing some gameplay on the screen, it's just going to be showing some of the scenery to give you a vibe, because I don't want to spoil any of this for you. I'm not even going to be discussing some of the main gameplay mechanics that happen. I think it's way better if you find those out for yourself. Please, please, please do not watch loads of somebody else's playthrough. By all means watch maybe an hour or so to see if it vibes with you. But if you think that it might, then stop there, go and get this and play through it. Gameplay wise, we are out in space, exploring some pint-sized planets. 3D movement challenges are a normal part of this experience, as is a lot of reading. In order to understand what's going on, you'll need to do a lot of self-driven exploration. The game won't necessarily point you in the right direction, it will give you clues though. You'll need to engage your own sense of curiosity and adventure, and just be prepared to head off and see what happens. Thematically, while this is a sci-fi game, it's one that has a lot of warmth to it. Your spaceships are made out of wood, campfires litter the galaxy, and gentle banjos and harmonicas remind you of home, even in the farthest reaches. But as you might expect, there is much peril to be found. And those banjos and harmonicas give way to some cold synths and distant mournful pianos as you traverse a treacherous universe. This is a game of light and shade. In one moment you'll be in wonder of the universe around you and having a real good chuckle with some of your friends who are out exploring. Then in another moment you'll be all alone at the elements, fighting for oxygen, avoiding many of the traps in this harsh, volatile world. This is not objectively a horror game, but there are some moments that some people may find a little too intense. There's one area where there's some jump scares, and there's another area that may be triggering for people who deal with claustrophobia. If you'd like to learn more, stay tuned to the end of the video where I will outline some of these areas so that you can make an informed decision. In terms of approachability, the controls can be quite difficult at first. This truly is a 3D game, where you're using your jetpack to move you up and down across planets that have different gravitational pulls. You will probably die a lot and in some silly ways. Just know that that's all part of the course for somebody who's going through an Outer Wilds experience. One tip I will give is right at the start, there's a model spaceship that's supposed to help you understand 3D movement. I would say ignore this and head straight on to the Zero G cave. That's a much better tutorial for 3D movement. Moving on to time commitment. This took me between 25 and 30 hours to complete. but it's a puzzle game. So how long it takes is up to you and how you interpret the situation and work out what you're supposed to be doing. You'll probably want to play in play sessions of around an hour or two so that you can fully immerse yourself in the experience. And you'll want to be able to do it fairly regularly so you can remember where you were and what you were doing, and also to keep the controls under your fingertips. Unlike previous games I've reviewed, I can't easily give this a difficulty rating. There are some pretty complex challenges involved and some really interesting concepts that you'll need to get to grips with. The progression in this game is managed entirely through knowledge. There's no additional skills to unlock or any levels to gain. You have to use this knowledge to work out what's going on and be self-driven to understand what to do next. Technically, this does mean that if you guessed correctly everything that's happening, you could solve this game in 20 minutes. Though that's extremely unlikely to actually happen. As you might have guessed from what I said so far, the story is not handed to you on a plate, but when you do engage with it, the places it takes you are really quite astounding. Simultaneously uplifting and sad, healing and heavy, bright and bleak. So, who is this for? I say this is for those who are looking for a once-in-a-lifetime journey wrestling with riddles and mystery, who want to venture through to the edges of reality and there, at the precipice of history, to toast a marshmallow on a campfire while their brother soothes their soul with a gentle pluck of a banjo. Finally, there is a free DLC called Echoes of the Eye. This is quite stunning and poignant, but it is focused on being quite scary. There is a reduced frights mode in it, or you can always choose just to not engage with it. It all starts from going inside an abandoned shack in Timber Hearth, so if you don't want to follow the breadcrumbs from there, just leave that for now. Well, that will be all for the main bulk of this video. I'll cover some of the scarier moments in just a little bit, but for the rest of you who might not care about that, this is probably where you'll jump off. I really hope this has helped you make an informed decision about this game. Don't forget to hit subscribe and be ready for part B when that drops. That'll be more my informal personal reflections on this experience. I hope to see you there. Alright, so scary parts. Like I said, there's an area of the game that has jump scares and an area of the game that has a lot of claustrophobia in it. I won't give away the purpose of these parts of the game, but I'll tell you where they are so you can prepare yourself or you can look it up. I will say though, with the jump scares part, you can't avoid it in order to finish the game. Whereas with the claustrophobia part, you can look up what it's about and just learn the principle without ever going there yourself. I'll make sure to add some timestamps to this video so you can select which one you want to have a look at. The jump scare area is in a place called Dark Bramble. Inside Dark Bramble is a lot of mist and fog, and hanging out inside of these areas are some anglerfish that will jump out at you and make loud noises. The atmosphere is tense in there, and they are your primary obstacle, and you can't really avoid this if you want to finish the game. As for claustrophobia, there's a planet called Ember Twin that has a lot of interconnected tunnels. Most of it will probably be alright, but your time in these tunnels is limited, and that might be a little bit too much for some people. There is one particular area at the bottom of a lake bed that could be very tense, and that particular area you can just go ahead and look up what principle you're supposed to learn there, and you won't be spoiled for most of the game. However, most of the other tunnels there, you probably just have to brave that. That's up to you, so you might hear that and think, oh, this game sounds too much. In which case, I will say, go and see if you can find some gameplay of the Ember Twin. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope this has been a really helpful video, and this has been Bright Sheep signing off.